So we're in that period where feeders are not being touched because of all the natural food sources about. So I'll try to use this time in summer effectively. I have just been down to my main perm and checked my feeders, and a lot of them are not being touched down there. I do need to change a few out that have suffered over the last sort of 4 or 5 years. So I've got a couple that I've fixed up just to show you. So just a few different designs. So this is a one I made where I actually donated a box. So I actually just adapted the box. It's got a little pull out chute, so it obviously guides the nuts down to the hopper. It's all meshed. I don't know if you can see the I've got feed level windows which I can check from a distance. So that's actually I put my hand in, you can probably see better. There you go. So that shows you the feed levels going down. So it's a little bit measure for you. Got the obligatory zero spinner. Front weighted hopper lids. This is just a recycled one of another feeder, but it's enough just to clash that noise. It doesn't have to reverberate around a wood. Drain holes in the bottom, so any water that gets in can drain out. And I tend to put a bit of an overhang on here. I sometimes just make up like little rain covers like this just to go over the hopper. Use sort of little offcuts like this where I've just picked them up from roofers and stuff. So I could stick that on there and act as another just little rainproof overhang and silicon seal across here, and it stops all the rain sort of getting in behind the hopper lids into your nuts, because you don't want mould into your nuts. Nothing worse than mouldy nuts. I paint the bases actually quite bright now. I'm actually just using an old can of metallic paint someone gave me. So I will actually paint this section here like a light colour. I've just used steel plate on this one, but you can see from a distance if I use the Coke can, anything that goes on there is actually quite silhouetted against the bright background. This one's got a galv nail plate on because I don't like pellets hitting trees, so any pass-throughs I will be fitting one to this. You can see I've shaved this side completely and I've put the platform this side, so obviously this is where you're training them to sit quarter on, so they'll sit not facing the feeder, so don't have the front lips big at all. Same on this one, same on a little one I made for a residential perm. So I didn't want any pellets going into their fencing. So it's got the nailed galv, little hopper lid. You can see this one actually did get painted white. I've brought this one back because it's going to get some extra weatherproofing. It actually is exterior, just decking that I made just for a little perm. And they've actually got a section on the fence where I can actually screw it on without affecting the fence posts, because this one does still have a ratchet strap, because I tend to try and do that on most of them. Not all, but I do like to ratchet strap my feeders to trees. Don't like to screw anything to trees. So there's another one on that one. That one hasn't got one because I know where this one's going, so I didn't need to make a ratchet strap, but I have put a bracket on where it's actually going to get fitted to a fence line. So again, just protects the tree. This one's a larger capacity one. Again, it's got the zero spinner hanging on, so it doesn't get stuck. Nice hopper lid I've made, and I put galvanised steel around this one, so it's got an extra bit of steel plate on, so they kind of get in. You can see from the the meshing that I do. I put plasterer's bead offcuts that I save up on the corners, so nothing can chew. You can't really see any chew marks at all. Maybe a little touch here, maybe a bit on the back here, but generally the actual feeder itself keeps its integrity. This one's had a coat of I got given an old coat of fence life on lots chewed a black oak, and I normally like to use a lighter colour to match trees, which is the brownie colour. You obviously I'm just using them up. These feeders cost me probably about £5 a time, if that. Obviously nail plate. Sometimes I buy back boxes, sometimes I get them given. Perspex sheet, I've just got given loads of it. Zero spinners I think I buy 4 or 5 for £8 off eBay. And that's the only purchase really, is like a reel of the mesh, which I get from the garden centres. Everything else is just stuff that I just use up. So screws. So the beauty of the high capacity one on my main perm, where I can't get down for like 3 weeks at a time, it just means that they never run dry. And if they don't run dry, they don't actually run out of feed, obviously, and then the greys tend not to attack them. So there you go, gives you a few ideas. These ones haven't got the rain pots in the lid. I normally make the lid sometimes bigger. It's just offcuts I had at the time, and I'll actually make one bigger and I'll just cut a yogurt pot into the lid with a hole, so it acts like a water source, because I have actually shot quite a few in the summer months. But these 3 in particular haven't got those yogurt pot water sources, but hopefully that gives you a few ideas for not spending much money and making your own feeders. Here's a feeder that's out in the field. See how the base is painted white up to that first level window for the feed, so it highlights the greys against it. Bit of galv plate, bit of zero, bit of plinking targets. There is a backstop behind that target with the yellow tape so it doesn't go into the tree. The post below helps support the feeder, but actually it is ratchet strapped to the tree, which you can see top right of the feeder. And it's just a little bit of a blinking target, but obviously hits the wood. It's a bit of 3x3 wood, where the birds are enjoying a bit of feed that I put out for them this morning. Help them put a bit of weight on, going into the autumn, going into winter. Got a lot more birds on this residential perm now, when previously there was hardly any. We took out probably 350 greys the last 2 years. This residential perm borders onto a massive wood, so we've been drawing them to the edge of this perm. Obviously we can't have any pellets leaving the boundary, which is those trees in the distance, because there's a stream behind the feeder, and that is the end of the boundary, but obviously we can't have any pellets straying past, so hence the backstop, and we don't show anything up here, that type of thing, so pellets don't go into the wood. They're all centered on the base platform. It's got a massive tree trunk behind it, but it's also got galv plate where that yellow tape is, so we don't have any pellets going astray. As you can see, there's loads of birds. You can see the feed level windows on this one that I was talking about earlier, so it's easy to see drops and things. That one actually does have the aluminium rain cover on, and a few more galv plates out front. So we'll touch that up, I think, a little bit on the base, give it a little bit of white paint ahead of the winter, just to help silhouette the greys. So there we go. I'm shooting from a hide, circa about 17-18 yards away, which is just built out the pallets. Trusty Daystate Pulsar, which is one of the few rifles I use, and that's our little window. So nice little setup. Ratchet strapped, and that's the pellet backstop. Nice thick ply, the carpet on, quieten it down, more pellets. Ratchet strap. It's a little bird feeder we put up in winter, just to help the birds.